Alan, obviously disappointing. How did you see it unfolding?
Yeah, I think, at the start of the day, we felt like we were in a really strong position. I thought we battled really hard with the bat on the first day, showed some real application. Henry and Adam's partnership was really crucial towards that. And then obviously I thought we bowled really well throughout that. And at lunchtime today to get a lead was really important. I think we bowled really well as a unit. And so, pretty hopeful from there. And it's just the momentum completely went from us. We didn't handle off the third innings of the game very well at all. And you have a session like that and you're probably not going to win many games of cricket. So it's incredibly disappointing, I think, from a position where we felt like we were in strength, certainly, and certainly ahead of the game to lose so quickly.
Yeah, second game running where you've got a first innings lead and then gone on to lose it. Is that a particular concern?
It'd be more of a concern if we weren't anywhere near winning the game or anywhere near in the game. So I think we have to look at it that we're putting ourselves in a position, and then it's how do we make sure that we try and drive that home with the lads. Really, I think when we look at this game, similar to the Essex one, it was just probably a session where we didn't quite hit our straps. More obvious here, obviously, in the Durham game where handling that third innings we didn't do it as well, which then leaves us with far too much to do.
What do you put that down to? I mean, obviously some really good bowling, particularly from Ben Rain, who was just masterful in those conditions. A bad start, but a lack of confidence in the batting, failing to recover from that?
I think only the lads will answer that. Obviously we've had a tough start to the season. It's quite difficult to get confidence from performances if you're not performing, but you should be taking confidence from the player that you are and the work that you're doing. But that's not far easier said than done at times. I'd like to think that the boys back themselves, certainly as support staff. We certainly do. And so that, it's whenever you play cricket or any sort of sport, you sign up to these moments, which are not always great. You have to go through some pretty dark times. And you work really hard and work together to make sure that you come out of them, and I'm sure we will.
There was a feeling, I thought, just towards the end of the innings, perhaps after Brett D'Oliveira was out, 7th out, that you might as well throw the bat because you were just as likely to succeed doing that as by sticking around. Do you think that was a sort of it just happened, or was there actually a sort of a kind of collective decision?
The conversation in and around it going into that third innings was that every run was crucial. Every small contribution was going to be big. We didn't suddenly expect to score 300-400 on the surface. So, but there was also a request that you had a real solid game plan about how you were going to go and do it. Play to your strengths as much as possible, which is nothing different than how we would normally ask guys to go around it. It's then up to the players to assess that position of where they're at. We mucked the batting order around a little bit, brought Tommy in just to try and help with the tempo and just see if that changed it up a little bit, because realising that Durham had some momentum. That didn't quite come off, and I think towards the end, looking at Matthew and Ethan and the way that they played, it was a case of, we're going to try and contribute somehow. Is this the way forward? And to try and spread the field a little bit, to try and make sure that any nicks the slips wouldn't be there, there'd be more spread field. It didn't go our way. I would always back the players' decision making. I trust them so much in terms of that and how they go about it. So we have to learn again and move on.
It was a difficult surface, to be fair, throughout the game. Any thoughts on that?
Had its moments, probably not quite exactly what we'd like to play our cricket on, but Stephen and his team work incredibly hard. We've had 13 floods in the last 2 years. That wicket's probably only had about 2 months worth of grass on it, so we're miles behind other counties at that stage. We want to play on as good a surface as possible. It probably did help the bowlers considerably, but still as a bowling unit you had to exploit that, and at times Durham did that really well and put us under a lot of pressure. I thought we did that likewise at times, and you just need some things to go your way, edges to go to hand or decisions to go your way, and it didn't quite go that way for us.
Some people might say it's clutching at straws, but there were some positives, and on the batting front a few people did get stuck in. Henry Nicholls obviously showed his class. I thought Adam Hose also got stuck in twice and did pretty well. Yeah,
it's incredibly difficult to do. I thought Henry introduced himself to the group really well. Really strong character already. He's shown that. he spoke really well to the group a couple of times already about, you know, ways to go around it, and he showed his class on the field, I thought, on like we talked about, a testing surface. You know, I thought Adam, you know, a couple of good partnerships there. It'd be nice to go on, but it was always going to be a challenge to do that. And I just think it's incredibly difficult, but we have to keep asking the players to keep going back. In terms of that, we've had a couple of challenging surfaces in the last 2 games, and that can become very tiring and very difficult at times. So, you know, we get a chance to dust ourselves off for a little while and hopefully come back with a fresher mindset.
And finally, and I think I probably know the answer, and we've heard football managers say it, you know, for years really, but what's the answer to coming back from this hard work?
I think, you know, I don't doubt the players' hard work. You know, the work ethic they have is unbelievable. We have some really strong values within the side. We have to make sure that we maintain those. I think if we start to distrust those and not commit to those values, then that's when it becomes really difficult. I think, you know, the players' work ethic, like I talked about, the players' skill set is there. They just have to believe in that and commit to what they're doing.
As ever, Alan, thank you for your time.
No problem.
This is Mike the Plasterer. He needs a trusted supplier for his materials and tools. Mike needs Profile Store. With an easy-to-use website, you can check stock online, order it and collect it within the hour. Profile Store offer free delivery over £125 and fast overnight shipping. With over 2,000 products in stock, they're sure to have what you need. So get yourself down to the trade counter in Kidderminster today. Get the job done with profilestore.co.uk.